Okay guys, back here with the Dragon again. Dragon Works 2015 Royal Enfield. I showed you all the trouble there. I'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to shut it off, but I just wanted to show you I did get it started. But here's a relay, and even after I fixed the battery like I talked about in the last video, I found all these burnt wires in here. Even then, when I pushed the starter button, it wouldn't start up. I traced the relay and it's one like this. There's no terminals, it's sealed. So I was trying to hit the button, I could feel this clicking, so I tapped it with the end of the screwdriver a couple times, and then the bike started. So this is the main wire I was telling you about that grounded out, shorted on the cover, and it goes down inside there, and you can see where it was kind of bubbling a little bit. So sorry, like I said, I wanted to show you the bike starting, but I had that situation with it, and I wanted to go ahead and just get it started and let it run here. And then what I did was immediately I grabbed my tester and put on here to make sure it's still charging, because I also found in here a melted ground wire that goes to the stator. So all right, now that I know it does start, I'm suspecting that and forgive me, you might have to back up to the previous video to understand what I'm talking about, but I found some problems in here, and as you can see, for those who do know what I'm talking about, so now I got this cable. Remember, it was turned up here and it had this other bolt. This bolt here was in the battery and it was too long. I took a picture, I couldn't really get it on video, but it had bottomed out in the back of that block or lug, whatever you want to call it. I found the proper screw was down here in this, it's a brace to hold the battery in. So somebody had this screw down there. So I took that funky screw that they had with a nut on it, and I put it in here on the brace and put the proper screw back in this terminal in the right orientation. See how it's facing up and down like that one? Remember, they had it turned way up here, and it actually hit the cover, because that's the area where the cover starts to taper back in to look good inside the frame. And they had this terminal turned up way up here, and so the cover was hitting it, shorting everything out. So I got that back in the proper orientation, got their tender back on it, and the battery is charging and the system is charging. I worried about that because the rectifier's back there. You can see those yellow wires. That's usually an indication they come out of the stator and go into the rectifier. But anyway, every wire I'm coming across has been burnt and retaped. And like I say, if you remember from the last video, I showed you how this was grounding out on the metal cover. This doesn't have plastic covers, it has metal covers. So it grounded on that, and of course all the surrounding ground wires and other wires got hot. It even melted this little loop that's the loop you pull to pop the seat off. That even got in the mix and got hot and grounded out. But that main wire that grounded out comes right down here to this relay, solenoid, whatever you want to use for your terminology. But and this thing is suspect to be bad and giving them the problem with the thing not starting, and they're thinking it's the battery dead, and they keep trying to charge it, and then the wire was loose. So on and on and on until you get them apart and see what's actually going on. Sorry about this lighting. It's terrible in here sometimes. The camera tries to adjust for the lighting, and it ends up blacking everything out, and you can't see nothing because you got a glare here and a shadow down there, and the camera's trying to do everything for you. But anyway, so yeah, this thing's already looks like it's riddled with electrical issues. All those wires need to be replaced that have burnt, because like I'm saying right now, there was a wire that's going back into the rectifier back in there. You can see it, and up on the top there, you see that one bolt. That's going into a plastic inner fender holding the rectifier on, that aluminum block with the fins. That's your rectifier, your voltage rectifier regulator. The fins are what regulates it. They get really hot and it regulates the excess electricity and energy through heat. And that's the way they work. Well, that thing is bolted to a plastic surface. So, excuse me. So they ran a wire from the factory off of that bolt and brought it around and grounded it to the frame where the battery, where I put that funky bolt they had in the battery. It's grounded at the battery hold down, but you can see that wire from there has been electrically taped all the way back to the rectifier because it melted. So now the wire is actually it's not going to carry the same load or have the same grounding properties that it would have had new. So all those ground wires really have to be replaced. Anything that's shorted out and retaped, it ruins the wire. You lose continuity and electricity can't travel properly. So who knows what's going on here, but never heard a word about this out of the owner. Just that the battery, he didn't say, look at this problem, or I just know when I pulled it out, it's been on the charger for a month, and I pulled it out here and hit the starter button, nothing happened. We had problems. So anyway, sorry to ramble on this video. If you don't understand where we're at, back up and catch the previous video, and it explains a lot, but I just wanted to show those who are following along some of the things that I found and rectified. Now let's go ahead and try it, guys, together here. See if it's going to start right back up or if I'm going to have to tap that relay. But I won't be able to do it with the phone, I don't think, here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so far so good. But like I say, it wasn't starting, and all I did was tap on that thing and move it around. So it's either got a bad connection or it's damaged, and that's not going to be very reliable. So we're going to suggest we get these wires replaced and replace that relay, amongst some other things. Single cylinder, 535. Electronic fuel injection. Does have a kickstart. I'll have to try it later. As long as your battery's good, that should work, because the battery runs the pump and all the electronics. But you can see they were having a little trouble with this, the electronics on this one. So yeah, really good looking little bike. All right, guys. See the instrumentation. We got, is that 76? 76 miles, that's on trip. Here we go. Okay, there we go, 11,600. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's only 1,165 miles. That dot is really small. Wow. All right, it's 1,165 miles on this thing, 2015. Okay, guys, thanks once again for following along. I know some of these videos, they're not the best. I'll try to do better for you, but yeah, this is just raw. You're in here working with me. Okay, got to get back to work. Thanks for following along, and follow along on YouTube, Facebook, whatever you can. Dragon says thanks for watching, and peace out.